Yo, what's going on, man? Jason Capital here. Welcome back. So we are on day 18 of Power Influence now. We talked yesterday about all the various ways to make someone like you by realizing not that they like you, but that they are like you, which makes them like you. Okay, that's such an important paradigm shift. I want to make sure you remember that forever, starting now. So let's recap those 10 triggers we talked about yesterday. Okay, so we've revealed similarities. We have the halo effect. We have similarities in style. We have the mere exposure effect. We have samesies, we have a common goal against an enemy, we have flattery, we have the in-group bias, we have celebrity associations, and we have the artful, damaging admission. So let's talk about how to use these things in your social life, right? So we have this amazing list, we have all these studies, we understand all these things about human psychology, but none of it fucking matters if we don't know how to use it and implement it in our lives every single day. So in social life, okay, one of the most important things you can do, especially when you're meeting someone, two important things I want you to remember here. Number one, if you can get an introduction to someone rather than you reaching out to them, for the love of God, please do it. Okay, please fucking do it. I can't tell you how many people who I probably would be doing business stuff with or be friends with right now if they had gotten introduced to me by the person that we already know in common instead of them just reaching out to me, okay? Like literally, we know people in common, we know high status people in common, that if they just gone to that person, introduced us, I would have been open. But because they reached out unconsciously, I'm just not open to it. And I'm aware of it. How fucked up is that? I'm aware of it and I'm still not open to it. That's just the truth, okay? Because something happens. When someone you admire, respect, someone is your friend or whatever, when they go out of their way to introduce you to that someone, they're unconsciously saying, I've taken time out of my day, I approve of this person, I think you will too, meet them, okay? It's like they get a stamp of approval from someone who you already approve of. If that same person just reaches out to you, they don't have that stamp, right? They don't have that stamp. They're trying to get in the club without a ticket. Okay, you need a fucking ticket. So if you can get an introduction, please get the introduction. Okay, so anyone you want to meet or whatever, get the introduction. When you do get in touch with that person, okay, name drop the person you know in common. Whether it's the person who introduced you, whether it's other high status people you both know, please drop their name in it. You send them like let's say this is, I'm just talking about introductions here, right? But let's say it's like a 5-sentence email and this is your first time after the person introduced you, you're emailing that person. The person who's receiving it is gonna read 10% of the email. They'll read all of it. They'll remember 10% of it. All they'll remember is what triggers you hit, right? And if you hit the likability trigger, they'll remember it. So if you hear this whole 5-sentence thing talking about how you can help them and value and ideas and it'd be great to grab a drink, all this stuff, but you also mentioned this really cool person you both know and have a history with, that's all they're gonna remember. That sold them on meeting you, and you give them a low investment offer, I'd love to take you out for a drink, and not for long, like 20 minutes or whatever, because I know we're both busy. It's pretty easy, okay? So if you can use introduction, please do it. If you can't, either way, please mention a common high status name that's someone you both know, okay? Use this in every single thing you do in social life and in business, all right? Always, always do it. Next one, I think it's my 6th time mentioning this today. Name dropping celebrities, all right? Or celebrities, or famous people, great men of history, just like, if these are the stories you're telling, everyone out there, okay? Twinkie eating fucks, right? Fucking Jabba the Hutt, all the Jabba the Hutts of Vegas out there, just waddling around. They can't even walk, they're so fat, right? What costume are they wearing out tonight? Adipose tissue, right? If anyone knows that, it's fat, right? Every story that they tell is just some stupid story. Listen to the stories they tell. I'm not trying to be mean to them, right? Because these are like family members who do the same thing. I can't control that. But the stories are just about some TV show, right? They want to talk about Homeland. That's not even real, and they want to talk about it. How much are you trying to escape your life, right? They want to talk about some celebrity news. Kanye, is he broke? Is he? He might be broke. That's what they want to talk about, okay? It's not interesting. It's not making anyone like them. All people are saying is, oh, you're one of them, right? But if you're telling stories, those are the stories they're telling, okay? By contrast, your stories are a million times better if what you're talking about are like big ideas, big things, cool things, powerful people, people who actually earned it, right? Like, and they could be alive or dead. That's why I always say, like, if I'm gonna tell a story, it's probably gonna be about like Julius fucking Caesar, or Alexander the Great, or Warren Buffett, right? Or even Hemingway, or like even crazy impressive people like Rasputin, like just like really impressive people. If these are the stories that you're telling to others, it does such incredible things for your status. But also, again, they are associating you with those people. You're getting celebrity associations. Okay, you're getting celebrity associations. And lastly, okay, so how do you utilize the mere exposure effect in your social life? Remember, mere exposure, you're just exposed to you a lot, they start to like you more, right? So what you want to do is you want to show up in their availability all the time. You just want to show up there. You want them to be exposed to you. Okay, so and you want to find higher status ways that you can show up in their availability. So if it's higher status and if it's embedded with that feeling of like we're on the same side, we do things similarly, we see things similarly, every time when you're showing up in their availability, I don't think you can do it too much. So for instance, who here has ever saw like the PUA advice that's like don't like post too much on Instagram or Facebook, whatever, because you want to seem like a busy guy? Anyone ever seen that here? Say yes if you have. Yeah. Okay. So the two guys I know who get tons of girls. Okay, two of my friends, they get tons of girls. They post on Instagram and Facebook 10 to 20 times a day. 10 to 20 times a day, right? I'm sure you guys know guys like this too, who are on Facebook and Instagram all day long, Snapchat all day long. They don't have a mission, they don't have a purpose, they're not doing anything for the world, right? They're just on Facebook and Instagram all day long. However, they're still getting girls. Now, granted, they're not going to be successful. If you talk to them for more than 10 minutes, they're fucking idiots. You can control them completely because they're so easy to influence because they have no core, right? All their confidence is based on externalities. But they get a lot of girls. That's the one thing they do get. They get a lot of girls. Part of the reason for it is every time they're posting on Instagram and Facebook, how are they utilizing the mere exposure effect? They're in the girl's availability all day long. Okay, we all know when a girl is thinking about you a lot, she values higher. She values you higher, right? Simply because she's putting a lot of thought and investment into you, which means your value rises. I'm thinking about it all the time, so I must like him, he must be more valuable than I think, etc. Okay, so if these guys are constantly showing up in these girls' Facebook feeds and Instagram feeds and Snapchat or whatever, the girls are just constantly being exposed to these guys. So they see it over and over, they're in the girl's mind all the time, and eventually, because of mere exposure, she just likes him more. So all these girls are just really comfortable and they like the guy. They're like, I don't know if I'm attracted to him, but I like him. I like talking with him. Of course, if she likes talking with him, she'll talk with him, and then it's easy from there. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so this is a real world example of where more non-Jason Capital PUA advice is fucking retarded, and what works in the real world is being reported here. So you really can't. I don't think you can show up in people's availability using mere exposure enough. I think as long as it's done in a higher status way. Like for instance, the girls that they're sleeping with are the ones who are interested in Kim Kardashian and what's going on with Kanye and things like that, right? So all their posts are about celebrity gossip and making fun of it and stuff. But that's what these girls are doing too, right? That's what girls are doing with all the celebrity shit. They're making fun of it the same way. So every time they're showing up with exposure, they're also embedding this idea that we are alike. The girl and the guy were alike, right? Mere exposure, plus we see the world the same way. We think Kim is funny. We think this is whatever. It's like, does everyone see how this works? It's really fun. It's insane. So that's how I use it with social life. Let's talk about with girls. So like we talked about the mere exposure on Facebook and Instagram, like tagging even people in comments. If you tag a bunch of girls you know in a cool Instagram photo, you tag their name in or whatever, then you show up in their notifications. Mere exposure. Every time, mere exposure. Okay, for instance, with my online marketing on ClickBank, we have it so every product that we sell, right? So I think I have 44 products now by Jason Capital. Every single one you can be an affiliate for. You can promote it and you can make a commission on it. Okay, and we have hundreds of affiliates worldwide. So every time they log into their account, and by the way, that's weird. Okay, most people, they have a lot of products, but they only give commissions on like the main product. I give it on everything. Why do I do that? So every time they log into their accounts, in their ClickBank accounts as an affiliate, they see my name on 44 products, not just on one. So they log in there and they see Jason Capital, Jason Capital, Jason Capital, this product, that product, this, and they're making 10, 20% commissions. They're making $10 a sale. It's not like a lot of money, but mere exposure, they see my name over and over and over again. they like me more, they want to promote me more, right? If you saw someone's name show up on your phone 50 times a day and every time it showed up, they gave you $3, you'd probably like that person, right? Probably like that person. If you don't, you're crazy. And then also, right, so when you go out, you guys know when you start to go out and you go out to bars and stuff, the first thing you do is you don't find a place to like sit in the corner and just kind of like talk to one person, right? First 10, 20 minutes, you go out there with zero judgment, no expectations, and you're just gonna have fun, just hello, goodbye method there, plant a seed there, plant a seed there, plant a seed there. You're moving around everywhere. How does that utilize mirror exposure? Everyone in the bar has now seen you once, twice, 3 times, right? They recognize you now. They're starting to like you. Of course, you're talking to girls, you have pre-selection, okay? So that's one way we use it there. Now, business and money. So one of the first lessons, I don't know if it's the most important, one of the first lessons one of my sales mentors ever taught me was how car salesmen use mirror exposure to make more money. Okay, I'm sure, hopefully some of you will have heard this before. What happens is when you go to a used car dealership, you go in, you're looking around, car salesman comes up to you, right? He asks you, are you interested in a car or something you can do? If he can show you anything, any car, anything, he will for a minute. He'll take you to the car and he'll be like, you know what, I have something really important actually about this car. I will be right back. Be right back. And then he'll leave, go into the staff office or whatever, right? And he'll just wait there for a minute or two. Get some coffee, take a piss, call his mom, call his bitch, whatever. And then he'll come back and then he'll talk to you and he'll be like, come back with the news and he'll tell you whatever. The reason he does it is because they found that if you see someone and then they leave and then they return, you like them significantly more. Okay, you like them significantly more. This is why we use the hello goodbye method with girls, right? Do you hate puppies? That's what those get. You really hate, what's wrong with this? Oh, I can't talk to you. 20 minutes later, come back to her. Now she likes you more, okay? Powerful shit. And of course, you want to associate your product or service with celebrities that your market or your target market likes already, and now people will like you more. So whatever service you're offering associated with celebrities, people will trust it more, they'll like it more. If you're selling a fitness product, right, and your secret is I don't know, some special type of like incline pressing with squats, whatever, doesn't even matter, right? Let's say it's the walking treadmill. That's your secret, right? All you want to do is associate all these celebrities who love the walking treadmill. They don't have to be customers of yours, but if you just embed your marketing with this idea that the world's best looking people are loving the walking treadmill, people will like it more. That's it, right? So when I'm talking about status, I want to break down, look at Robert Downey Jr. using high status eye contact in this situation here. Right? Now, is he sitting there going, God damn, I love Jason Capital, taught me how to look at girls? No, he taught that shit himself, right? But it still is higher status, and I'm going to associate those two things to make the product better, more valuable, more likable, okay? All right, so last little warning here before we wrap this one up, okay? It's a little caution for everyone here, for you at home, okay? In today's world, you want to practice caution when you come across someone who claims to be just like you, whether they say it blatantly or they seem to have everything in common with you, okay? Remember before how we said samesies, like just same place, you like them more? Like all these different ways people can get you to like them without even you realizing it. Even if you know about it, it doesn't really matter. You're susceptible to it. So I have a friend who is a very, very good like networker, connector, influencer, really successful guy. He's 34 now, millionaire, New York Times bestselling author. Like he's a really well-rounded guy. I guess it was 4 or 5 years ago now, and he had a blog out there before he wrote his book that a lot of people read. It was really popular. I'm not going to say his name for reasons that you'll learn in 30 seconds. He had this really popular blog out there. Men and women read it. One day he gets an email from a chick who says, I've read every blog post of yours. I love it. It's so good. I'm actually going to be in your city next week. I don't live there, but it'd be amazing if I could take you out for coffee just to hear some of your stories because I love your writing. Flattery, right? It's already begun with flattery. Okay. Now, mind you, this girl already had a child with another man, and they weren't married, but they'd been together for years. So she emails my buddy, even though she has a child with this person, whatever, comes to the city to see him. They get coffee. They're sitting at coffee. It comes out, she's like, he loves Lord of the Rings, okay? And it comes out that she loves Lord of the Rings at lunch, and she is shocked to find out he loves Lord of the Rings too. She can't believe it, right? That's crazy, right? And then there's a certain band he loves that most people don't know about, and she just happens to mention she saw them in a concert last week, and he's like, holy shit, you like them too? That's insane. We have so much in common, right? Before they know it, they're upstairs in his apartment 3 hours later, doing things that people in apartments do when they're alone, okay? Less than a year later, he married this girl, okay? Less than a year after that, they were separated and on the brink of divorce, and she's like the worst person I've ever met. I don't know what they're doing now. It's not really my place to comment, okay? Moral of the story is, after they got married, she completely changed, right? The real her came out, and it was nasty. It was nasty. And what do you expect, right? She was with another guy, and they had a baby, and she's running around the city to meet other guys. That's not like a high quality bitch, right? Anyways, before they got married, I was very against it because I was trying to explain to him, dude, she is just mind fucking you. Like, she's not the perfect woman you've dreamt of. She just read your blog and then mirrored back to you what she wanted to hear. And that's what she did, and they got married. And now he's putting together these pieces, trying to put his life back together. So he lost three years of his life that he'll never get back. 3 important years, like 30 to 33. So I just warn you guys, have caution, right? When you meet someone or a girl or anyone who seems to have everything in common with you, that's a little suspicious, okay? That's suspicious. Very, very suspicious, okay? So that'll wrap it up for today. Good shit, everyone. I'll see you guys tomorrow.